All right, so today I'm going to be responding to three critical comments of Potts and one critical comment of Eric Clopper from the video that I released called "Is Intact Global Set Up to Fail?" Question mark. I'm also going to respond to Eric Clopper and what he said to me, and I do like this. I feel like we're all having a good conversation, and I think that's great. So just to kick this off, I actually pinned this comment right here. Ocean Birth. Hey Potts, I star comments and don't star conversations between chatters, regardless of the subject. Eric Clopper didn't see those e-commerce comments as he was looking at starred only. So, one, I pinned this because this is very important to know. I think, honestly, a lot of people were upset that, hey, why is Eric skipping the e-commerce comments of the fans and also from Potts as well. And I think that is super important actually, because the e-commerce program helps Intact Global. You guys already know this. Well, it can help Potts, it can help other intactivists. So it definitely has the ability to go help further intactivism. But we do understand that it's not Eric Clopper's fault. This is Ocean Birth saying, I did this. Now, I don't think that she's sorry at all for doing this. I mean, I don't know. I feel like causing a little bit of strife there, but all right. I deleted the comment that someone said he doesn't like you, as it was not an appropriate comment that reflects the gravity of the subject of infant genital mutilation. I feel like it does, because how can people combat infant genital mutilation if the room feels like, hey, one intactivist leader doesn't like the other? So I think that's kind of important for people to have answered. And also, yeah, it's a really great thing that I made this video, because once again, like, we got a lot of good questions answered as to why your comments got deleted under the live stream that Eric Clopper did, and also why Eric Clopper was ignoring certain comments. So now we know how that functions, and I guess you can blame Ocean Birth, or you could thank Ocean Birth. It really depends on what side of this you're on, I suppose. All right, here's another one, kind of critical of Potts, from Jose. I agree with everything except the part about him abandoning his message and openly being Jewish. He still wants to ban all circumcision, but starting with that is untenable, because the biggest resistance is always religious. And this ties into him openly being Jewish, which I think is a really good thing. Now, first of all, I like to point out that he agrees with mostly everything. Now, granted, I will say that when I made the first part of this, I kind of said it quickly because I covered it already, but I can see where he's going with, he's trying to start off small, but he wants to ban all circumcision, which, do you not think that the Jewish people are going to like see this? Like, hey, he's going to want to try and ban all of it, right? That's probably going to still have the Jewish people get involved. In my opinion, the success of this movement will live or die by the separation of being anti-circumcision and being anti-Semitic. Every time the legal status of circumcision has been threatened, it is always Judaism that prevents any meaningful change from being made. Okay, I feel like we're ironically blaming the Jewish people here. Okay. I kind of feel like, would that not be considered anti-Semitic? Blaming the Jewish people, saying, oh, it's always them that prevents it? I don't know. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. It says, look at Germany, where the legal case that led to circumcision being banned involved Muslims, yet the majority of the backlash came from Jews and it being labeled as anti-Semitic. Look at San Francisco or Denmark, where threats from the ADL spurred government officials into actions to block the laws. If we want this movement to succeed, we need people, including Jews, to separate circumcision from being integral to Jewish identity. So the more openly Jewish people we have supporting the cause, the better. Now, I know I replied to this because there's 34 replies here. How are you going to separate circumcision, which is literally a whole covenant, from their God, from their identity? Like, it's in their holy book. Like, it quotes God commanding the descendants of Abraham to circumcise. That's going to be really hard to try and cut that away from their identity. But you guys can click here and read the replies, by the way. He says, I do really like and support Eric, and I think we need more of his energy, of hope and optimism in our cause. We really need to support who is probably the most ambitious intactivist we have today, and we cannot afford to be divided. Now, I agree with that, actually, super for sure. If you look, I've been liking his stuff, commenting on his stuff, again, liking his stuff, and commenting on his stuff. So it's not like I'm not supporting Eric Clopper still, right? So yeah, no, totally. I don't think we can be divided. I don't think it's Prevail of the system that's trying to divide us, though. If anything, I think it's like Eric not being okay with Prevail of the system trying to help him, if that makes sense. And I'll go into that later. Here's a comment that just says clickbait. I don't know how. That's not going to count as a critical feedback one. I have no idea how any of this was clickbait. I'd love to know, though, why you think that, though. Pillbug Yum. You start isolating other groups of intactivists who perhaps don't like the Jews or who don't care about religious groups. Bro, what? Why would he want to support anti-Semitic intactivists? Well, first of all, your leading question is, well, leading. It's not why would he want to support quote-unquote anti-Semitic intactivists. It's, well, why would he want the support of anti-Semitic intactivists? And, well, there'd be many reasons for why you would want their support. One, and the most obvious, is funding, right? You would like to have their money so you can go ahead and do your cause and pursue it, right? That's one. Number two, he's having, like, speakers and their time and their expertise, like, you know, diversity. There's a diverse group of people in intactivism. So, yeah, you would probably want the quote-unquote anti-Semitic intactivists to support Eric. So it's not that he is supporting the anti-Semitic intactivists, it's just that it would make sense that he would want them to support him. And then he says, supporting that would harm the message. Okay, once again, it's not about supporting that, it's about getting support from it. I'm going to go ahead and play this clip real quick for you guys.
That's epic. So yeah, in the Prevail of the system, I watched, I watched a few minutes of the 29-minute video you made, and there was some, oh, I can't believe you said you spoke for the Jewish people, and we are opposed to circumcision. Well, yeah, it's called live streaming, dude.
All right, so right there, you can see that Eric Clopper actually didn't want to like have that message out per se. He was just kind of live streaming, and actually, if you play this, look at what I say, verbatim. I'll put the captions on. Eric, did you leave Judaism? Now, first of all, I understand I have the luxury of time to think about this. And perhaps Eric didn't think about this too much during the live stream. So I literally said, oh, hey, maybe it was because he was doing a live stream and he didn't think too much about it. And that was verbatim pretty much what Eric Clopper said, like, oh, dude, I'm live streaming. I didn't think about it too much. I just kind of answered, and that probably wasn't the best answer. Like, granted, I'm assuming what Eric means, but I mean, he wasn't like, oh yeah, no, I'm definitely for that. I think he's kind of taking a step back, like, okay, yeah, I was live streaming, and that's just the way it is. So, I mean, Pillbug Yum, I don't think Eric meant to go ahead and support Judaism as hard as he did, right? And I think I even caught that in my video where I said, hey, I don't think that's what he's trying to do. But anyways, let's continue. He's choosing not to abandon his culture, but instead try to improve it. Being a Jew is an anthro-religious category, so he might not believe in God, but still hold a Jewish identity. Okay, and that's all well and good. Like, he can totally do whatever he wants in his spare time, right? But the thing is that it's very divisive to, even say, oh, hey, like, my race/religion is Jewish. It's very divisive. And should it be that way? It really depends on who you ask. If you care about diversity and having different belief systems, well, then you should be like, oh, well, this is just how it is, and people are diverse, and we should celebrate that. Like, we should celebrate people liking and not liking certain groups of people, because that's what makes the world great, is that we're all diverse and different. I mean, if you want everyone to think the same, and, maybe then it really depends, right? So, my point being, nowadays and forever from history, people are divided amongst Judaism, Israel, all of it. I mean, look at a map. I mean, right here, this is the whole Israel-Palestine recognition. It's a mess. It's a lot. So I don't think it's a good idea to get into, oh, hey. And once again, I don't think Eric Clopper wanted to do that. I think Eric Clopper was just answering a live stream question carelessly. So I think most of this here is not at all what Eric is trying to do. I don't think he's trying to improve Judaism. I think he's just trying to run Intact Global, and he's just trying to ban it for non-religious purposes. Right? Makes sense. That's his mission. Okay. Anyway, and this hardly seems like a core message. It was just a question he answered on a live. Okay. I mean, but the thing is, he still chose to answer the question on a live. I mean, you're going to have people that are going to try and bait him constantly, especially being a lawyer, especially doing something with intactivism, especially doing something as big as what Intact Global is trying to do. So, I mean, if someone's asking you a question such as, Eric, did you leave Judaism? You don't know what Chicken Farm wants. Chicken Farm might want Eric to be like, oh, yeah, I totally left Judaism. I hate that religion or whatever. It's like, you don't know. I mean, he's just asking a question. Or maybe it was to, like, I don't know, trap him or whatever. I don't know. It is a live stream, so who knows? But anyways, I can't help but feel like you are seeking infighting/drama and being petty. I mean, I don't know how I'm being petty. I mean, I feel like we tried to help Intact Global quite a bit. I feel like I tried helping Eric Clopper quite a bit. Seeking infighting and drama. I mean, I don't know. We are the news. We do indeed go ahead and we give the good and the bad. And of course, with all intactivists expecting good news, and that's all what they hear is quote unquote good news. I mean, it's like, I don't know, if bad news is drama to you, I don't know what to tell you. I don't know. I hope that answers that. All right, here is a critic of Eric Clopper, very critical comment. Says, America has a corrupt pay-for-play political system that is heavily controlled and manipulated by the Israeli lobby. What this means is that applying restriction to the practice of circumcision, religious or not, is simply never going to happen. Anyone claiming to be pursuing or claiming that a ban on circumcision is even remotely possible, especially when seeking donations for that cause, is a complete fraud. Let me spell it out for you. Eric Clopper is a fraud because the outcome he is pursuing is simply not possible. Even Peter Adler's case got thrown out in the appeals court, and all he was trying to do is prove circumcision funding under Medicaid was unlawful, let alone trying to pull off a literal ban. So I think it's hard to call Eric Clopper a fraud because he has tried a whole bunch of different things in the intactivist movement. I think his heart's in the right place. I think he's trying to do a lot of things, and he is shooting for the moon. I don't think he's, like, even though he's seeking out donations, in the grand scheme of things, I feel like he could make a lot more money being a lawyer. I don't think it's fraudulent per se. I think it's maybe, like, I don't want to even say being naive, because maybe Eric really thinks that this is possible, and he thinks a lot of things are possible. You've seen Eric Clopper in the past, so I don't think he's a fraud. I think he's very, very optimistic. Very optimistic. And he says, there is a reason why Gaudaf is currently trying to raise funds to cover the expense of failed litigation. Eric Clopper has a reputation, and the slightest slip up and the judge will sanction his ass off, and when his challenge against state government fails, he will be paying their legal expenses. The only methodology that has even the slightest chance of creating an impact is to target funding, make circumcision as unprofitable as possible, and prevent false or misleading promotion of the practice. This methodology is proven to work. In essence, what Intaction is doing. American intactivism needs a reality check. And yeah, I understand that American intactivism does need a reality check. So I get that. I mean, let me know what you guys think. Do you guys agree with circumcision law reform, with what he said? I think the whole Eric Clopper is a fraud part is a little strong personally, but I'm curious what you guys think about all these comments, actually. But anyways, I'm going to go ahead and actually go back to Eric Clopper and his comments about the video because he watched it, at least a few minutes of it.
Circumcision. Well, yeah, it's called live streaming, dude, and I show my face. So anyway,
All right, so the whole I show my face thing. So Eric Clopper doesn't like Potts being anonymous, but the thing is he has workers that are anonymous right here. His donors are anonymous. You can do so much great work being anonymous. Just like you don't know the anonymous person who drops off your Amazon packages, you just know it came from Amazon. That's exactly how it works with Potts. You might not know exactly who is delivering you the message, but you know it's coming from Potts. It's the same thing. And Eric coming after Potts on this one subject is, I think, hurting him. You can even go ahead and check the comments. It says, does Eric not understand that having your identity exposed on the internet is a bad thing for most people? That seems obvious, I guess, to me and other people. And honestly, a lot of people are coming up and talking for Potts and sticking up for Potts. And like, here's another one.
Earlier. But yeah, so as some people were saying, why didn't you do an interview with Potts? Why didn't I do an interview with Potts? Well, maybe in a few months I will, but I just don't think it sets a great tone, right? We need people who are willing to actually say, look, this is who I am, and I support this movement, and I'm not an anonymous meme token who who hides behind anonymity, right? So that position may change in the future. Eric, have you tried getting anyone to use Potts' e-commerce program to help intactivism? Are you using this program yourself? I actually don't know what that is. A lot of Potts fans here.
I don't think Eric cares to learn what Prevail over the system's doing, which, going back to Jose Murray, says we absolutely cannot afford to be divided. Right here? Yeah, dude, totally don't think we can afford to be divided. I agree with you. Apparently, Eric Clopper, though, wants to go ahead and fight Potts for whatever reason. I don't get it. I mean, people have tried to let him know what's up, but I guess I don't know. I guess he doesn't care. So anyways, my final thoughts before I end this is, what is Eric Clopper doing? Like, how is this a good strategy? I mean, I don't understand how, like, trying to get at Prevail over the system is helping him in any which way. Me and Eric Clopper, we're actually in the same weight class on YouTube. We're in the 1,000 to 9,999 like weight class together. And if you're questioning, Potts, do you really think you're in Eric Clopper's weight class on YouTube besides just a number of subscribers? If you go here, you can definitely see Eric Clopper, Prevail over the system. This is who it's comparing it to. This is from vidIQ, comparing your competitors. So if you go all the way down here, on the subscribers cumulative, the past 12 months, Prevail over the system was at 226 subscribers. Eric Clopper is at 5,320 subscribers. At the end of all of this, Eric Clopper has 5,500. Prevail over the system has 1,010. Now, granted, they don't give you single digits here, but point is that Prevail over the system gained about 800 subscribers, 780 subscribers. Eric Clopper got 180. So yes, Prevail over the system is new, but we definitely have been spiking in subscribers and intactivists like us. Now, if we go down here to channel stats, you'll see that Prevail over the system, even though we're a smaller channel, we average 110 average views per day, while Eric Clopper averages 65 average views per day. So as you can see here, if you go down, this is the view tab. Even though we only have 60,000 total views, you can see the past 7 days, we've been going up. 2 weeks, we've been going up. Past month, we went up almost 8% in views. So we're definitely skyrocketing in views. Meanwhile, Eric Clopper, the past month, he peaked out at 1.7% growth in viewership. And Potts' subscribers, the past month, we went up 1%. Eric Clopper subscribers hasn't gone up any in the percentage realm. And Eric Clopper might not like that because I'm a VTuber, but that is what it is. And I don't know how this is going to help Eric Clopper to continue, like, trying to push against Prevail over the system, because it's like, hey, man, we tried helping you, and now you're making more people upset, like your own people, honestly, talking like, oh, I don't like Prevail over the system, go show your face, stuff like that. Like, your own commenters are like, bro, like, what are you doing? And granted, there are people that do support Eric and hate POTS, and I totally get that. But you know what could solve this is if Eric Clopper and Prevail of the System work together. But for some reason, Eric Clopper feels like that could hurt the movement. I also don't want people to think I'm putting Eric Clopper down. I want him to succeed. The way to succeed is by having these discussions, though, and I honestly think a lot of the times Eric Clopper agrees with me. I don't know if he even really wants to fight Prevail of the System. You know, maybe he will do an interview with us. Granted, it's going to be under different terms at this point. And also, we've made great videos for Eric Clopper. You know, he has the MVP of intactivism video. We talked good about Intact Global. We even made a POTS e-commerce program that was supporting or benefiting Intact Global. So I don't want people just to see this and be like, oh, POTS, you just want to have a fight with Eric Clopper. You're being petty. Like, no. And I think most of you guys understand that. I think most of you guys understand that Prevail of the System is trying to help intactivists, and we need to have these discussions. And I know you guys understand that POTS does a lot, and I appreciate most of you guys. Now, some of you guys think that I'm just trolling, especially with Eric Clopper calling me a meme token. It's a VTuber, but whatever. I also think Eric Clopper says he only watched a couple minutes of my video because he has no response for the other issues. I actually asked him during a live stream to go ahead and make a reaction video to my video. I think that would definitely encourage conversation. I believe there was like 4 or 5 other issues he didn't really touch on. And I'm super curious, you know, I mean, if we can't get an interview, we might as well get a reaction video. You know, it's going to help Eric Clopper because he can go ahead and explain things, right? And that's going to provide more understanding and trust with his community. And it's also going to help him make content. And that's something I think people would watch. I mean, let's be honest, a lot of people like Prevail of the System. I get it. Some people don't like Prevail of the System. But I feel like the majority of people like Prevail of the System. And I can tell just based off of like comments and stuff, honestly. Like, look at that, 5 likes. We were the top liked except from Hash Brown Mashup. But his comment supported Prevail of the System. And again, look at this. The top comment, 9 likes for the algo. Even though it's just saying for the algo, lots of people liked it. It's the top comment, you know, and I feel like there's a lot of people who have great comments on here that you could like. But I think a lot of people just back Prevail over the System, which is really cool. So yeah, guys, anyways, my thoughts don't matter. It is your guys' thoughts. So please leave a comment down in the YouTube channel. And who knows, maybe, perhaps, your comment will be featured on Prevail of the System. Anyways, guys, thank you so much for watching. Bye.